I'm Kris Constantinides. I'm the chairperson and president of AIDN Western Australia, which is a not-for-profit volunteer organisation that focuses on the SME community, particularly in Western Australia, and how that engages with the defence sector. AIDN-WA is a long-standing organisation. It's been in place for over 30 years in a variety of capacities, dedicated towards promoting SME interests in Western Australia and in defence sector. What's great about AIDN is that it's made up of volunteers, and as I mentioned, it's a not-for-profit organisation, so it really has the interests of its members at heart. The members comprise of a variety of different organisations. Approximately 20% of our members are prime contractors or major defence players, and then you have a whole host of small to medium enterprises that make up the predominance of our members, and they're cut across a variety of fields, from cyber to education to land, aviation like air flight, the business where my day job is, and also maritime, which is a significant part of the sector here in Western Australia. So our member group is broad and diverse, and therefore our drive to promote industry is broad and diverse as a result. But our key focus is on promoting West Australian industry and how we secure a positive future for the West Australian industry in the defence sector. We have amongst our member groups large organisations like BAE, NSM, Austal, and having large organisations like that, as well as others like Raytheon and others, they help us understand the demand-driven approach. So we can encourage our SMEs to go and knock on doors all day long, but unless we understand the needs of the supply chain in which we're encouraging them to tap into, then we're going to struggle to give them the direct approach they're going to need. SMEs don't have the time and the luxury of having entire business development units set aside to be able to pursue business. So part of our role is directing them in a way to that demand-driven approach, and engaging with the primes and engaging with the major players in defence allows us to do this in a way that is efficient, that is coherent, and that gives our SMEs the best chance for success. So we're very thankful to the primes in our industry and the major players for their involvement with AIDN and their continued support of AIDN, because it is critical to the smaller players within the sector. AIDN-WA has two broad ways of advocating for its members, and firstly we look at the current environment, and the current environment is framed with the current policies and procedures that are in place for doing business in defence. So the way we help members there is through visibility. So that is making sure those primes, making sure the big players in Western Australia and interstate are aware that West Australian capability exists. It's giving our SMEs the opportunity to get in front of the primes, to tell them about their business and what they do and what makes them different. And it's understanding how to improve their business and prepare their business for engaging with defence. It's not good enough simply to say, I have something and I can solve a problem. You must do it in a way that speaks the defence language. So we're talking about procedures and standards and quality control and security. And these are the issues that we can help members in the current environment prepare for doing business with defence. Then we look at the future environment, and that's where we focus more on advocacy. So we engage AIDN Western Australia as a state-run entity with state-run interests, but we're part of a national body. And that allows us to connect with our national colleagues and promote interests that are in WA's interest, but also in the broader national interest for the SME community. And that enables us to influence policy development and things like the recent announcement on redefining what an Australian company means. AIDN has been beating a drum in relation to that particular issue for some time, and whether or not it's as a result of those efforts or not, seeing that change is one example of how AIDN can help shift the way the future market is positioned for the benefit of today's SMEs that hopefully will still be in the sector and interested in the sector when those changes come to fruition. A critical part of how AIDN's able to advocate for its members is the various inputs and influences that we have in terms of defining a strategy of how AIDN is going to operate and how we need to lead the industry going forward. We're very fortunate to have a number of senior associates associated with AIDN, and they come from a variety of backgrounds in very high-ranking positions with a wealth of experience, and we lean on that to help guide us and help frame our thinking, because defence is a long-standing industry, and obviously we need to understand and learn from history as well as pursue our future, and they allow us to do that in an effective and coherent way. We're also very fortunate, as I mentioned before, to have all the primes that support our activities and what we do. And that gives us a well-rounded view of how we move forward. That also allows us, with the support of those entities, with the senior associates and the primes, to start promoting awards and gaining visibility for industry. So we do that with the Young Achiever Award, and the purpose of doing that is to, one, give back to the industry and show that there is young talent coming through in Western Australia, and also get visibility for the sector broadly and say that there is talent in defence, and that if you are considering a pathway as a 15-year-old in high school, that defence is a place welcoming to multiple genders, to various ages. It isn't just an old person's game. There is youth in that industry, and there is a place for you to achieve great things in defence if you choose to follow that path. And then we also have a collaboration award, and the reason we have the collaboration award is we see that is the future of defence. We see that defence is looking at turnkey solutions. It's obviously looking at risk-averse solutions, and you can understand why. So the feeding ground for SMEs is either in engaging with each other or engaging as part of a supply chain with those major contractors and with those major primes. And in that spirit, we therefore need to reward and give thanks for the collaboration that is offered to industry, and give it visibility, give it traction, use it as an example for others to follow. So AIDN, with its associates, with its prime contractors that support us, with the various politicians and the other bodies that I spoke of, CCI-WA, Defence West, CDIC, Henderson Alliance, all these other inputs allow us to take a full view of industry, shape what we're doing in that way, and celebrate the successes that we already are having in industry as a way of shining a light for other people to follow. In Western Australia, we've recently had Defence West become established as an initiative by the state government. There's a Defence Issues Minister, Minister Papalia, and that's drawing further attention to the defence sector in Western Australia. That's excellent for SMEs and the community in Western Australia to have that greater focus. That also provides us another avenue to which we can advocate on behalf of SMEs, because we have a very close relationship with the Minister and with Defence West and with the Defence Advocate Raden Gates. So this allows us to have more influence politically than we did before. We receive a tremendous amount of support from Senator Linda Reynolds, and we also, through our national associations, have connections to the Defence Minister, as well as a number of former Defence Ministers here in Western Australia that are very supportive of the AIDN cause. So we are very well politically connected, but I must say we're well connected because we are well supported, and the intent of what we're trying to achieve is supported politically by both current and past politicians, and we're very fortunate to have their involvement in AIDN and their constant encouragement and support.